Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. You know, every single week I always say the same thing. Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm down at the Peppermill. I'm on the red couch, and I have a great guest. But the reason I do that is because that's for all my new members and all my new viewers, and all, so they understand where I am, what I'm doing. And I'm Ninon, the host, and I have Susan Johnson with me. She's an amazing woman, though this is the first time I've met her. I know nothing about her, except one thing I do know. You're an author.
I am an author.
You're an author. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Being an author to me is really, really tough.
Absolutely.
Because you're kind of writing something, whatever it is, but it's got to be in these pages, which could be anywhere probably from 300 pages all the way up to whatever you want.
Right.
Gone with the Wind was, 500 pages in small print? I mean, that was
Mine's
really,
not that long, let me tell you.
If anybody's ever read Gone with the Wind, the old one, it was my father made me read this book, and I was all of like 12 years old or something. And there's this book. I'm looking at this great big book, all small print. How are you, Susan?
Excellent. I've actually written a bipolar memoir, so it's my life story.
So you have
I have bipolar disorder.
What bipolar disorder do you have? I happen to know quite a lot about bipolar.
I have bipolar disorder 1.
1. Oh, you're cool.
I'm the cool one. I get the exciting highs and the low lows.
Well, there might be exciting highs for you, but somebody else maybe not.
Absolutely.
The thing I see about bipolar is you've got the very happy and the very sad, and you're never actually in a place of that medium where you actually want to be, which obviously this is where the medication comes in.
Thank you. So many people do not believe in the medicine.
I don't either. I don't.
It keeps me here.
Keeps you here?
Here.
Okay, so she's going to be here for the next 2 hours. Teasing. My jokes shouldn't do that. But so you take medication.
I do.
And do you trust the doctor who is giving you the medication of the balance you need? Because I know there's doctors out there that have absolutely no idea what they're doing with bipolar.
I totally agree, because I have the very best psychiatrist on the planet. But I've had those psychiatrists before that just want to write the prescriptions and don't care about me.
Thousands of them out there that don't care. Why does a psychiatrist come into this, I don't know what you call it, whether you call it a disease or whether it is a disease. Well, I got that right.
Yeah, you did. Or an illness.
On an illness. But let's put the word of a disease, because I think most people can understand that, though it's a very, very strong word. But at the same time, how can they balance that out? How do they know? And how does a psychiatrist know this? By what you say, what you tell them, and what you do, right?
Right.
That's the only basis.
There's a criteria, of course, the doctors have checkpoints that they use, but mostly people go on a manic high, and that's to the point of hospitalization. As for me, thank God I've never been hospitalized.
So how do the laymen out there, how do the people out there know somebody without you having to say that you're bipolar? Because I think telling people out there you have bipolar, it's not really cool.
No.
Because they immediately judge you.
It's a
stigma.
She's
crazy, she's this.
The stigma
I don't want to
huge.
I don't want to be around it.
Right.
I've been told, I've been with people with bipolar, only to stay away from them. And I said, well, why? If I didn't know, I wouldn't stay away from them. Just because I know I've got to stay away from them?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what happens in this criteria of when people know you're bipolar? What is their reaction that you notice?
I have not gone public about it till the book came out. And then it was like coming out of the closet for gay people. It was like, here I am. Guess what, everybody? I have bipolar disorder. And it was very liberating. And I'm very proud of who I am and the person that God made me into being, along with having bipolar disorder.
So in other words, you have actually, went through all the people and all the doctors, all the psychiatrists, you have actually kind of learned how to live your life of your ups and downs.
Absolutely.
With the medication, do you take it in the morning? Because I know about the medication. Unfortunately, right. I do. And I know that it brings you down or it brings you up.
The medication levels me out on a daily basis.
But when you take it, immediately you take it, say an hour later, it can't immediately level you out. It has to take time to level you out.
Correct.
So you have to get from the morning where you're feeling, say, very depressed. So you take the pill. when you're feeling good, and then you're high, say afternoon, I don't know, and then you come down again to take the other pill.
Yeah, that's not what it's like at all.
That's not what it's like.
That's not what it's like. When you're on the proper medication, you don't feel like you're on a high or a low.
In other words, it doesn't change anything.
Exactly.
How often do you take the medication?
I take it every day, and that's half the secret. So many people stop taking the medicines. They end up in jail. They end up homeless.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a big problem in our society.
So is it a bigger problem that a lot of people don't know that they've got bipolar?
Yes.
And they go into drugs, and then so they don't know about the balancing. They don't know they've got bipolar. So because they're down, they'll take a drug, and then they get hooked on the drugs and end up in the streets.
And they self-medicate. And I was very blessed because I was diagnosed at 19 years old because it's a genetic illness and it runs in my family. So we knew, and I've just been so blessed to have that diagnosis so early.
I think in the last 10, maybe 20 years, this bipolar's slowly come out, and now it's really out.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody talks about bipolar and what's going on and what's happening in the whole bit. So, I could have had bipolar. I'm a very hyper person, but I don't get the downs and the ups. I don't know what I get. I'm not quite sure what I am yet. I'm still trying to find out, believe me. But how do you find out if it's not in the family, hereditary? How does somebody find that out?
Like I said, a lot of times it's the mania, and that will lead to the hospitalization. And so that will...
It takes over.
It takes over. And then also the depression with the suicide. A lot of people get so depressed that they try to commit suicide.
I don't know how anybody could get that depressed, but it
happens.
Horrible. It must be horrible.
It's horrible.
No, so my question is, how didn't we know about this years ago? Did we all have it years ago?
Yes.
Well, we didn't have as many suicides. We didn't have as many deaths. We didn't have it wasn't like this at all. Is it because of the drugs out there that are creating it more? What's the problem?
I think, especially for teens, it's social media. I think there's so much of that going on right now for our teenagers that it's...
There's a funny thing, and I don't know how true this is, but Facebook apparently has decided, I don't know if it's out yet or they're going to do it, they decided they don't want to put numbers up of how popular you are, because they see some people are not as popular as these people, and it creates a problem. Well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that to make myself popular like they are. Like, I could be more popular because I have a show. I mean, big deal.
Right.
But they don't have a show, so they're not so popular. But they're trying to get to where I am. So that depresses them.
Absolutely. And I think bullying as well.
Oh, yeah.
As far as teenagers,
that
it's been around forever, but it's just it's just horrible.
Bullying was only like hitting somebody at one time. That bullying really started out about in school and hitting children and all this. That's how it kind of, and then it's created into bullying of being verbal, of being a lot of things now.
Yes.
So it's not so. Are you nervous being on the show?
No, but it's my first appearance on YouTube.
Really?
It's my first appearance on YouTube.
So you're going to she's making a great impression.
But
you know why? She's telling the truth about what it all is.
Would you also believe that I work in a school with special ed students?
I would believe anything in this day and age.
Especially the people you've had on the show, probably, huh?
Yeah. Well, I had a show, actually, for 16 years, and I actually gave the younger generation a platform to speak out. It was once a week, and I did it in Los Angeles. I won 125 awards from my show.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Because I gave the children a platform to speak out, and and it was amazing what we did. We just changed the lives of so many kids, of being... Every child has something. I don't care what it is, but every child has a dream, and every child has something. But they don't think that. So I gave them a platform.
Oh, I love it.
So I love you being a teacher.
Yes.
What do you...
I am an instructional assistant, and I work with special ed students that have autism and ADHD.
Oh, I know all about ADHD. Oh, my goodness, ADHD. Believe me.
Let me tell you, I feel pretty special at the end of the day myself.
Did you decide to go into this or do this because of what you had?
This was a dream of mine.
Before you knew you had bipolar?
As I was growing up, I wanted to be an educator. But I also learned that dreams change the older that you get. And I have new dreams these days.
Right. Yes.
I have new passions and new dreams.
So what's your new passion now? Now you're teaching, because I think anybody to teach these children in special ed is amazing. I know all about it because we had many of those kids on. Everybody would say, oh, Ninon, you can't have those kids on the show. And I said, well, why can't I interview these kids? Why?
Yes.
Well, they never had an answer. So I interviewed them.
I love it.
Deaf and hearing.
What a
I had
wonderful
deaf and
thing.
hearing impaired children. I had children that couldn't, blind children. In fact, I had a child that came on a second time. As I walked in the room, she said, oh, she says, Ninon, I know you. And I'm like, well, how do you know? You can't see me. She knew the voice.
Oh, wow.
So
that's beautiful.
It is beautiful when you can help
thing.
them, because they're just as human and they're just as great as anybody else.
Oh, they're pretty amazing.
Well, they just have a different way of life.
They teach me a lot.
So what is your new thing then?
My passion is mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health speaking. And I will be doing my first TEDx talk here in Las Vegas,
when?
May
Tell me,
9th. May 9th here in Las Vegas.
So we're going to have you on maybe a week before.
I would love that.
Would you like
I would
that?
love that.
Lynn, don't forget, get her on a week before.
Awesome.
But you absolutely get in touch with her so we can have you on and we can give you publicity and put you out there.
That would be wonderful.
What made you want to do that? Is this the encouragement of telling other people that you can?
Yes.
You go from here to there?
Yep. Absolutely. I want the world to know that if you're living with bipolar disorder, a mental illness, that there is hope and there is help.
Yeah, live in hope. Why not? I mean, I think it's amazing. What's the name of your book?
Some Dreams Are Worth Keeping.
I love that. Some dreams are worth keeping, but to me, all dreams are worth keeping.
Absolutely.
Whether they're good or whether they're bad or what they are.
Absolutely.
What's the most, when you write a book like this, what is the most prominent thing you feel that's in your book to help somebody out there with bipolar? Because it's about bipolar, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think using my journals and my honesty and my bluntness made it a really intriguing story and a real story.
Is that the way you present your illness, the way you present it to other people? You don't blatantly come out and say, I've got bipolar.
Right.
You don't do that.
Right.
You kind of build up to it.
I just basically wrote my life story and began when I was a child.
Oh, wow.
And then just went in time, along the way.
Have you seen the progression from when you were a child to where you are now? Have you kind of gone through it, or it must have been an incredible
And it's been
journey.
really incredible for my faith life as well.
Your faith. Are you married?
Yes, I have an amazing husband.
Cocktails, please, cocktails.
And he
Why
cooks.
Oh, he cooks.
He cooks
for you?
and does the grocery shopping.
Do you have any children?
No, we have a fur baby, Angel Ann Johnson. She's a Siberian cat.
Oh, how beautiful. You didn't want children?
We chose not to have children because of bipolar disorder. We
that's what I
knew
wanted
it
to
was
ask you.
genetic,
Yeah,
and I didn't want to pass it on.
You didn't want to pass it on to somebody else to take it on because you've been through so much hardship and so many problems and people liking you and not liking you and then criticizing you and judging you.
God has blessed us with a beautiful goddaughter.
Oh, how beautiful.
Hannah is 9.
Well, I don't have children either.
And it's wonderful, isn't it?
Well, sometimes
Trips to Cancun. I mean,
I
come
agree with you
on.
not having children. But sometimes when I see what these children do to their parents, I think, oh, maybe I was blessed. I often feel.
Yeah, I feel sometimes that way.
I often feel that God blessed me. But it's not that I'm against children.
Right.
I mean, I'm
No, I
not
love
against
them.
children at all. I did a show for 16 years about helping children.
Right.
But I think maybe I was put, and maybe you were put in a place to help bipolar children by telling your story. Would you advise children to read this book?
It's probably high school age. High school and up, I would say.
They're still children.
Agreed, right? Agreed.
So it would be a good idea for them to read how you went through it and what they can look up to of what you've done, how you've achieved
Absolutely.
it. How can they reach you to get any questions or anything from you?
You can reach me at my email, which is somedreamsareworthkeeping@gmail.com, or you can go onto my author website, www.sjohnsonauthor.com.
Susan, I want to thank you for coming on. I think it's a great courage for her to come on and admit to the world, because this is internet TV, admitting to the world what she went through. She's written a book about it to help other people out there, whether you're young, whether you're old, or whether you admit you have bipolar. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be worried about it. If you've got it, you've got it. Get it handled like you did. Thank you so much, Susan. Absolutely amazing. We'll be right back.